Hi friends. It's been a couple months since I've touched base with everyone, and I thought I would just say hi and let you know how things are going. I had an appointment with my rheumatologist at the beginning of this month, and at that time we decided that it would be appropriate for me to have another infusion. And that was based on kind of my input and a physical examination from him. I do still have inflammation in and around my joints, but it's really pretty minimal. I'm actually at a phase of remission. It's not as good as it has been for the last 2 years, but it is a level of remission, and so I'm very thankful for that. What we hope that the next infusion will do is give me just that extra little bump that puts me back to where I was 1 and 2 years ago. So we're gonna try for that coming up in sometime in November, and then with a second follow-up infusion in December. I don't know if you remember or if you haven't watched any of my videos, the medication that I take is called Rituxan. The formal name is rituximab, and it comes in 2 infusions. And the first, it's the same amount of drug, but it has to be given 2 weeks apart. So my first infusion will be sometime at the end of this month, and then 2 weeks following I will get the second half of the infusion. So what's been kind of happening over the last couple of months is I've noticed that I've been losing a lot of hair, and as you can see, I've gone pretty short with my haircut, except for the front, because I want to pretend that I still have long hair. But I've noticed a lot of hair loss, and I think my stylist, she's told me you're supposed to lose about 100 strands a day, but I can just at any time run my fingers through my hair and lose just gobs of hair. So what I've done is I've doubled my supplements of biotin and folic acid, and I'm also now applying a minoxidil treatment on my scalp. So I've been doing that kind of in response to hair loss, and also to try to be proactive for the second infusion, because I will also experience hair loss with the second infusion. So I'm trying to ward off, trying to make it less impactful on my hair. About the 3-month mark when you take Rituxan is when you start to see benefits, but it's also when you start to see the side effects. So I had my first infusion in May. June, July, August is when I started seeing some benefits, and I also started seeing the hair loss. So I anticipate that given that I'm still experiencing that right now, that I will need to take care of the hair and make it stay in there. So you can see that I've gone short. Like I said, that's really just to try to make it appear that I have more volume of, you know, what I have left on my head. So, but we'll deal with it as it goes. So got my lab work in. Lab work came in relatively normal for an RA patient, and I think probably what has happened is, since I still have inflammation, and upon examination, what my rheumatologist, he could feel, and I can see that I have inflammation. I am not sure if the first infusion ever completely knocked out my B cells, or if I have started to produce B cells again. And the way Rituxan works is it completely eliminates the B cells in your blood. Quick little lesson, you have B cells and T cells in your blood, and they're your infection fighting army. And the B cells are the ones that sound the alarm and calls on the T cells and says, let's go fight this bacteria, let's go fight this virus, whatever. And so in my body, my immune system has too many B cells, or the B cells become overactive. I think it's overactivity is what happens. So they're set out on this mission to kill a virus or a bacteria, and there isn't one there. And so it starts attacking my joints and my organs. So it can attack eyes, heart, lungs, intestines, whatever, skin. So I imagine probably what happened is that the first infusion didn't completely knock them out. So that's why I've maintained kind of this level of inflammation over the past 6 months. So I'm hoping that this next infusion will give me the bump that I need to get back to where I was, where I had really no inflammation. I had been on high levels of prednisone. At the beginning of the year, I was on 25 plus milligrams of prednisone a day. Now I'm on to 6, which is really great. But a year and 2 years ago, I was only taking 2. So there's still just a little bit of room that I'm hoping to gain from this next infusion. So I should be getting that just right as the holidays are going underway. So unfortunately, that means that I'm not going to be able to have Thanksgiving with any family or friends. With the coronavirus still raging on, it makes it a little tricky because I will be having this infusion that knocks out half of my immune system. At the same time, families are gathering and getting together and being together to celebrate the holidays. So I'm not going to be able to risk it. I'm not going to be able to be with family this year for Thanksgiving or Christmas, but it is what it is. So I can't chance it having no immune system and potentially being exposed to somebody who may have the virus but's asymptomatic, and me picking it up, because my body will take that, and the coronavirus will go, wee party, and that would be bad. So my dogs right now, I don't know how they know when you get on the phone or you start doing a video, but they just do. Anyway, so that is the plan for this year. Physically, I'm okay. I'm able to do things relatively easily. I've just become sedentary. I've gained a lot of weight back that I lost over the last 2 years. And a lot of that is steroids, but a fair amount of that is stress eating. So I've had a lot of pandemic fatigue, depression, anxiety. I've been kind of fighting off anxiety attacks lately. And it's just pandemic fatigue and just waiting for things to kind of get back to normal. So I'm speaking with my counselor. Just touched base with her this week, and going to start speaking back with her on a regular basis and try to kind of get me past this funk that I'm in. I'm hoping with news of this new virus, vaccine that's coming out for the virus, that that I will be able to get that maybe January or February, depending on when it's released. I am in, there's 3 tiers of groups of people that are in line for the virus or vaccination to be given to. The first tier is like frontline workers, people like that. Second tier is people who are immune suppressed, like me, and then other essential workers like teachers and people like that. So, and then the third tier is the general population. So I am in tier 2. I don't know when that will happen, and it'll be kind of a tricky balance because I will have just had 2 rounds of chemotherapy infusion, and then I will be getting this vaccine for the coronavirus. So I'm not really sure when I'll be able to pick up normal activities, but if the vaccine is effective against the virus at 90% or hopefully greater, I'll just have to have a conversation with my rheumatologist about when I can kind of get back to doing things like getting out in public and life. So I've just been kind of holed up here in the house and staying safe and not really going much of anywhere. I have gone out and I have done, some things, but always wear a mask, always wear hand sanitizer. I wipe down chairs that I sit in. So I just try to be hyper vigilant, and been safe so far. So I know that I have some friends who have experienced the coronavirus, and I just can't help but feel that it's closing in. The longer that it's out there and uncontrolled, it just feels like things are closing in. So I'm really looking forward to when this whole thing will be over. And I hope all of you are staying safe and COVID free. And if you've experienced COVID, that you've made it through just fine. And dogs are fighting. But so anyway, I hope you guys are doing great. Stay safe, and I imagine I'll probably post another video or some more pictures of my infusion that's coming up in about a month, or less than a month. So anyway, take care, friends. Love you. Bye.